In my running journey, I've just hit 1,000 kilometers. This wasn't something I was planning for. This wasn't something I was aiming for, but I opened up my phone the other day and I looked and I just happened to notice that I have 1,000 kilometers on my distance run. That's, to me, is pretty awesome. Now, I just want to share a couple of thoughts with you in terms of getting to this milestone, and hopefully it can create some inspiration for you if you're just getting started with your running journey or your walking journey. And if you've already hit that journey, maybe you're on 10,000 kilometers, maybe you'll look back at this fondly and say, yeah, I remember those emotions and those experiences of being a beginner runner. So stick along for the journey as I go through the year that has been and getting to 1,000 kilometers. Alright, so this, like I said, is day one. It is official starting point. Got a beautiful sunrise this morning. We actually are here. Be where your feet are. I read a post from my dear friend One Delay the other day, and he said, it's just be where your feet are. Just be where you are. Appreciate the moment where you are, the challenges that you're going through, and just the journey that you are on. You know, the major lesson that I would take in having reached this milestone of running 1,000 kilometers is that just be where your feet are. Like, be in the moment of where you are in your journey. Don't worry about maybe other people that you run with or walk with that are getting fitter quicker than you are. Just accept where you are. My pace today isn't much faster than my pace was, a little while back. It's a bit better. It's about a minute better per kilometer. But I'm nowhere near. Some of my friends are running 5.5 minutes per kilometer. I'm still at 7 minutes a kilometer. I'm okay with that. So be where your feet are. The second thing that I've learned on this journey of getting to 1,000 kilometers is that you're going to surprise yourself. Just go with the flow. Function, I do Kloof Street on Monday. That is straight on up Table Mountain to the cable car. Try and not just go with other people's flow, try and create your own flow. In my journey, I got these crazy ideas that, I could run up a mountain. And I remember, after doing all these things, I started to think about, the goal was really just, for weight loss, it was for, a tighter waist, it was for fitness, and none of those things had happened in the short term. So if I measured the short-term goals, I failed completely. But the short-term rewards that I was getting was far different to what I'd ever expected. For example, I thought I could run up a mountain. I didn't run fully up the mountain. That's okay. I took on really big challenges in a very short period of time. So, don't think that you always have to wait for your body and yourself to be ready. It's get into the state of getting ready. Every run that you're getting ready for your next challenge. The reward system that you think you get is actually going to probably be different to what you are physically getting. For me, it was my mental state of thinking what is possible and then breaking that down. And then, the things that really started to excite me were things that I actually thought was impossible. Like running my first marathon. I had 9 weeks of preparation from the time I decided to run a marathon, to train for a marathon. I had 9 weeks. And my first 2 runs in the training preparation were under 10k's. And then I just tried and I ran 18k's. I was broken after that 18Ks. I couldn't walk for 2 days. But then, that led me to the third thing that I felt was important in getting to this 1000 kilometers. So that second thing is that your goals that you think is going to be important actually won't be important. Be flexible in what you're learning in your journey. In movement, and especially in running, is that your mindset will change. What you think is possible will really be broken down, and you start to believe that so much more is possible. If you set yourself a limit, your mind's going to believe that limit. But if you open your mind up, you never know what's possible. Alright, so the third thing that I learned in my journey in running up to 1000 kilometers was that recovery is probably more important than focusing on the kilometers that you're going to run, the distance that you're going to run. Because when I was training for that marathon, I've got a family and I've got young kids, and so I can't be out for 2 days every time I go out for a long run. I really had to focus on how do I get stronger and recover as quickly as possible after my runs, and that was a big focus for me. It's why I started looking at nutrition. I started looking at hydration. What am I putting into my body before my runs? What am I putting during my runs? And what am I putting in my body after the runs? And how are each of those things affecting my ability to recover, and how quickly am I recovering? Good morning. It is Monday morning. I just ran my longest distance yet this weekend on Saturday. We got 29 kilometers, feeling pretty good about that. And this morning, I'm coming out just to stretch the legs for about 10Ks and then carry on with the week. So I've been able to, just before the marathon, was able to run a long run, 30 kilometers, and take a day of recovery. On that day was also really important because I'd get home and sort of needed a little bit of a rest, and then I'd have to go out with my kids. So really that was it. I'd still have a bit of, discomfort as I sort of chase them with their bicycles, whatever it is. And then the next day I'd mostly be fine. And that was a really important thing, was learning recovery. Focusing on recovery is going to be your best friend. So if you're just getting started, those are the things that I would focus on. So the fourth thing is that the more I shared my journey, and there have been some very few negative comments come my way, but mostly they were positive message. People were, firstly, encouraging, and then they were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did this thing. And then they were like, wow, you just keep going. And then it was admiration. And then now I'm in a stage where people are sharing messages of their first runs, that they started running, that they started walking, and that they're feeling so much different. They're sharing their stories of happiness and joy with me. And I find it's a real privilege to be in, so share your stories. You never know who you could be encouraging. There could be a person that's in your situation. I was stuck on that couch and, just mentally drained from life. And that going out for the run and sharing my story, sharing how I'm feeling, helps other people. I also then was brave enough to ask other people to share their stories with me, and they did, and lots of them told me different things. And the universal thing is that it's mentally a good idea to run. It's a good idea for you to go out there and get some physical movement, to cycle. I've recently started cycling, but the people that I have met have all shared stories about how running has either created a better spiritual bond, it has helped them mentally get out of depression, it is how they have longevity in their life, all the things that we really, most of us probably hope and aspire for. has been achieved if we just look at those that have done it before us and listen to their stories. So share your story. Never know who you will be encouraging. Now, all of these things I'm now able to do, and I feel so much better. I mean, there were niggles in my body. I've spoken about my gout. I've spoken about the pains, and I've spoken about the injuries that I've been through. All of those things are now less likely to happen because of what I'm putting into my body. And I really am thankful for the privilege that running has given me that I'm able to do these things. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to celebrate, in my own little small special way with you, to let you know that I've hit 1,000 kilometers. I never expected to be here. I mean, who could have imagined starting these little walks and talking into a little camera would get me to this point where 1,000 kilometers later, I'd be sharing the story with you and just some of my experiences. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Richard. I'm an adventure filmmaker. I focus on running and sharing stories of how you don't have to be the best to get out there and do something for you. That you can just go at your own pace and you can do, walking, running, cycling, doesn't really matter as long as you get out there and create movement in your body and then do something that makes you happy. Alright, if you found this content useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video. It would be really awesome if you could subscribe to my channel as I post more videos about the adventures that I take, riding my bike in the rain, running in the rain, and all sorts of things as I try and encourage you on your journey. Alright, my name is Richard, and this has been Richard Talks.